Hello, V Squad, and welcome back to another episode of VGirl TV. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, by the title, you already know what this video is going to be about. This video is going to be about whether or not you should get health insurance. I think it's super important that we talk about it, okay? It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you're retired. It doesn't really matter. I am going to give you my realistic and my experience with health insurance here in Panama. So I'm not going to tell you what health insurance you should choose I am not an insurance broker, so I'm not qualified to give you that information. I can only tell you what happened to me. So for those of you who do not have insurance that, if you're coming from the States and you have insurance that covers external or international medical expenses, you know, I'm not really sure how that works out. But this is what I would say. So when I first came to Panama, one of the first things that I did within the first month was sign up for health insurance. So I applied for health insurance, and the way it works here is that the insurance, they bill you, well, this particular health insurance company, I'm not going to go and say all because, I'm not going to say all insurance company. I don't know how all insurance companies work, but this particular brokerage company that I worked with, they kind of charge depending on your age. So depending on how old you are, if you have any underlying sicknesses, it would basically determine how much your deductible would be or how much you would be paying for health insurance monthly. So when I first came to Panama, one of the first things that I did was sign up for health insurance for my son and I. At the time, the health insurance that I had, a lot of doctors were not taking the health insurance that I had, which was really, really strange because it was one of the best health insurance. It's one of the top health insurance that a lot of expats pick when when choosing health insurance. But basically, I signed up for health insurance. I had to go get a physical, had to get a doctor's note, had to check to see if I had any underlying medical conditions, submitted that to the health insurance company for me and my son, and guess what? We only had to pay $150 a month for the both of us. Now, to me, okay, this was my own private health insurance. It wasn't like I was working for a company and the company was paying for my health insurance. So I thought $150 a month was amazing for health insurance for my son and my personal opinion, because in the States, health insurance, even when you are working with a company, the amount of money that they deduct out of your check, it's more than $150 if you want a decent health insurance plan. My personal opinion, and this is from all my perspective and what my experiences is coming from New York City. I don't know what any other state's health insurance plan are, and I don't know how much they take out of your check every week or every time you get paid that goes towards health insurance. My personal experiences is what I experienced in the United States, Brooklyn, New York. Disclaimer. Okay. So I got the health insurance, everything was fine. What I found most annoying about the insurance was that at the time, a lot of doctors were not accepting my insurance plan. So I would go to the top hospitals here in Panama, what they would consider the best hospitals here in Panama, which is Punta Pacifica, San Fernando, and every doctor that I wanted to go to, they didn't accept my insurance, okay? One time I had to take my son to a pediatrician, and the pediatrician did not accept his insurance. The pediatrician didn't even accept insurance at all. He wanted you to pay out of pocket. And this is what I was finding with a lot of doctors, that they just didn't take insurance at all. They preferred you to pay out of pocket. And I remember going to one doctor and I had to pay him $85 for a visit. This was just a consult for my son, which was $85. And at the time, when you're thinking, okay, if I would have lived in the States and me paying $85 for a consultation, or even for my son to see the doctor, it definitely wouldn't have been $85. It would have been way more than $85. So I was just like, okay, whatever. At the time, which I did not know, was that whatever you paid, you could get a receipt from the doctor and then give it back to the insurance company, or you could submit a claim and the insurance company would then give you back a reimbursement. But then even with that being said, the reimbursement really wasn't that much money. So if I paid $85 for the consultation with the doctor, and then I would submit the claim to the insurance company, I was only getting back like $25. So in reality, I was paying almost what, 60 something dollars for a consultation. So to me, I felt like every time I wanted to go to the doctor, it was the same thing all the time. Like, these doctors were not accepting health insurance, and then I would have to pay out of pocket. Or if I went to like a clinic, which is what is considered here, well, what you would compare to an urgent care facility, you would have to pay like $15 for the visit, which is not bad, but then you're paying health insurance, and then they did not accept the health insurance at the time. So it's like, at some point I felt like, you know what, this is not even worth it. This is not even worth it at this point, because I felt like I'm paying $150 a month, I'm seeing the doctor, and then I still have to pay. It just didn't make any sense to me. These doctors were not accepting any form of health insurance. They wanted upfront payments, and it was just getting very annoying. So I canceled the insurance. Canceled it, right? So I was just like, okay, like whatever. I don't need health insurance because they're making me pay anyway. I might as well just pay out of pocket, because guess what? It comes out to the same amount of money anyway, and I'm saving money until...
Hold up, wait a minute. It's a 22.
One day I ended up getting really, really sick. Okay, I ended up getting so sick here in Panama, and I don't even remember how it even happened, but I just want to tell you guys, people, I want to tell you guys, when you come to Panama, make sure you drink your water. Make sure you are drinking at least 2 liters of water every single day. It is extremely hot here in Panama, and it's very easy to become dehydrated. And this is why I ended up getting sick, because I wasn't drinking enough water. So one day, you know, I'm in my house, and I just like it wasn't something that happened like just out of the blue. It was like little by little, I just kept getting pains on my side. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, why am I getting these pains? It would go away, come back, go away, come back. Later on, as I figured out what I had or what was going on, I realized why the pains was going away and coming back. And then one day, I was in the house by myself, and I just felt like hot flashes, right? So I started sweating, felt like I had to use the bathroom, and I ended up calling my parents, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm going to die. Like, I feel so bad. I feel horrible. Can you please come? And it was just like a light bulb, like, you know, came in my head and was like, open up the door. My house is that if you lock the door from the inside, somebody on the outside can't come in. It's a catch-22 here. It's a catch-22, right? So I found the strength in me to come from upstairs all the way downstairs to try to open up the door so that my parents would be able to come in, because I thought I was literally going to die. When my parents came to the house, I was like passed out on the floor, because like I literally like passed out. I ended up going to the urgent care. We're just going to call it urgent care. They don't call it urgent care here, but for the sake of this video, we're going to call it the urgent care. Went to urgent care. I had to pay $20, okay, for the urgent care to see a doctor. They ended up giving me a shot, which was like $12.50. And yeah, that made me feel better, but they told me that I would have to go to the hospital because what I had seemed like it was really serious. They rushed me to the hospital, and when I got to the hospital, guess what? I didn't have any health insurance, okay? And this is literally like, I want to say like a year and a half after I just was done with the health insurance. So I didn't have any health insurance, so I had to pay out of pocket, right? Mind you, I had to check in. You have to pay when you first go to the hospital, which is $500. And then after you pay the $500, you then have to get x-rays. You have to pay for the x-rays. You have to pay. So every single thing you have to pay for, right? Depending on what they have to do to you, right? And so I remember the x-ray being like, I think it was like $250 on top of the $500 that I already had spent to just even be admitted into the hospital. Not admitted, but to even go through the process of being, we'll just say admitted to the hospital, right? And then you have to do blood work. So keep in mind, urine analysis, all these things you are getting charged for, okay? Then, come to find out, I found out that I had kidney stones. Now, moving forward, I find out that I have kidney stones. So, like, oh my God, they tell me, you have to go see a urologist. We can give you whatever medication, just to ease the pain or whatever. But the reason why you're having these pains that's going, coming and going is because the stones keep on moving, right? And then I used to always have to use the bathroom. It was just crazy, right? So the following day I got a referral to a urologist, right? I go to the urologist, and guess what? The urologist asked me if I have insurance. The answer was no. So I had to pay out of pocket the visit, which was like, I think it was like $50 at the time. So I go to the urologist, he pulls up the notes, and come to find out, yes, I indeed had kidney stones. And he told me that the size of the kidney stones, because he showed it to me on the monitor, it was big and it needed to be removed. He asked me, do you have health insurance? The answer was no. So guess what? I had to pay out of pocket because this was something that I had to do, because I'm telling you, the kidney stones nearly took a sister out, okay? So he made the appointment for the surgery, and he told me how much it was gonna cost. So it was literally the anesthesiologist, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for the medication. Yeah, it came up to almost $6,000, okay? Roughly about $6,000. Now, $6,000 does not sound like a lot of money when you're, when you're coming from the States. It doesn't sound like a lot of money. But let's be real, like, how many people really have all this money just laying around just for medical? Imagine if you had like serious medical conditions where you're just dashing out money every which way because you're having surgeries all the time. $6,000 multiplied by 10 could add up, okay, if you have underlying medical conditions, right? It was that point I realized that I made a huge mistake. So I ended up having the surgery, and then, you know what, the following day, not the following day, but like a week later, I ended up getting insurance again. And, to my surprise, now the insurance that I have, the insurance policy that I have, literally, the doctors now accept, there's many doctors that, now they have a network, okay? Maybe they had a network before, I just didn't know about it, because none of the doctors I was trying to go to accepted my health insurance. None, right? There was very few doctors at the time that was accepting health insurance. But now, fast forward, there are many doctors that are taking health insurance, and it has relieved me a lot. I don't get sick often, where I need to go see a doctor, but when you go for your yearly medical, your physicals, GYN for the ladies, when you go to these doctors, or when I go see my urologist to make sure, like, my kidney stones, they didn't come back or anything like that, you could just give them your health insurance, and then all you really have to do is pay the copay. Now, the thing is with my particular health insurance, which is something that they have now changed from before, in order for you to have certain surgeries, I'm not sure the logistics or how it breaks down. I am not an insurance broker, but you have to have the insurance for 1 year before you're able to use it for major surgeries or anything like that. Well, certain surgeries. I'm not gonna say major surgeries, but that is something that you may want to check with the insurance broker. So my suggestion is, if you are coming here, get insurance, okay? If you are coming with your children and your family, make sure you have a health insurance plan, because although here in Panama, you know, medical is way cheaper, okay, it still adds up. It still adds up. I'm telling you, it adds up. I am not going to promote any health insurance companies because, like I said, I'm not a health insurance broker, so I don't really know, you know, like the logistics and the ins and outs on how, you know, which policy or which plan might work for you. I can only tell you what I have. I have Blue Cross Blue Shield International. This plan works for me. For someone else, it may not work. So I just want to make that disclaimer, okay? Anyway, guys, like I said, I would suggest that if you're moving to Panama permanently, that you have some sort of medical, okay? Make sure you have some sort of medical insurance in place. It's super important. You don't want to end up like me. You do not want to end up like me. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in as always. If you like this video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share it to someone who may need this information, okay? With love as usual. Peace and love, guys.